Hello, people. Good morning. Another beautiful day. Yep. Hope your five senses work. Health and strength is good. What? On a Saturday morning. Look, got a nice little article here for you, talking about Game Pass and PS Plus. You know, Sony trying to admit that Game Pass is far ahead of PlayStation Plus, which it is. But it's like self-pity's. Sony want the courts to feel sorry for him. Sony is no victim here, people. But anyway, when it comes down to Game Pass and PS Plus, it's about infrastructure work. Okay, listen to this. Game Pass is far ahead of PlayStation Plus, Sony admits. And it says Game Pass is far ahead of PlayStation Plus. It says here, there's always been a debate about the better subscription service between PlayStation Plus and Xbox Game Pass. This may not be the case anymore, as Sony has admitted that Game Pass is far ahead of PlayStation Plus. The body responsible for overseeing marketing regulation in the UK, the CMA, has published a response of 9 different developers on Microsoft merger with Activision Blizzard. The document also contains Sony's response. Sony said, "It is far beyond a doubt that Game Pass is far ahead of PlayStation Plus." And it says here in the court document, it says, as a matter of fact, Microsoft tends to skew the evidence when its presence shares of supplies. And then it says PFS finds that the difference between the shares of Microsoft and SIE Sony, both in the UK and globally, is significantly smaller than suggested by the parties. Then it says, and when it comes to Microsoft, it's beyond a doubt that Game Pass is far ahead of PlayStation Plus. Says here, there's no doubt, back to the paragraph, it says here, there's no doubt that PlayStation Plus has become direct competitor to Game Pass with recent addition of likes of PlayStation Plus and Premium. But it has been made clear that it will take a long time for PS Plus to get an even terms with Game Pass. Both subscription services provide various quality of games, but PlayStation lacked the benefit of day one releases. Xbox Game Pass owners have already seen games like Wulong Fallen Dynasty and Hi-Fi Rush at launch, and Starfield is also expected to come soon. Says Sony is admitting its shortcoming, which highlights Microsoft as the better platform. The main incentive behind Sony's confession, these are my confessions, could be to slow down the Microsoft merger with Activision Blizzard. It's called self-pity. Anyway, it says here, Sony main claim is that even if they accept a 10-year deal on consoles, 10-year COD deal on consoles, Microsoft still has ways to attract consumers towards Xbox. The other concern is that Microsoft might increase the price of its Call of Duty license to weaken the PlayStation Plus or PlayStation console. Anyway, let me keep going here. Now, article is over. Look, Sony has a big user base. Okay, Sony got a big user base, and this Sony trying to want the courts to feel self-pity for him. But in Japan, Sony leads Xbox 96-4. Worldwide is 70 to 30. And then in fourth quarter, PlayStation is beating Xbox. So when it comes to Game Pass now and PlayStation Plus, the name of the game is infrastructure. You have to work on your infrastructure to keep those services going. And Microsoft has been consistent with Game Pass. And Sony need to take some cues from Microsoft. Microsoft has been consistent. And Microsoft has a show called This Week on Xbox. They air it every Friday, and that show is worth its weight in gold because it shows you what's going on with Xbox. PlayStation now needs a This Week on PlayStation to show their PlayStation fan what's going on with PlayStation and what games are coming. I mean, having their little PlayStation event show is cool, like the Microsoft Xbox Bethesda presentation. But they need a weekly show called This Week on PlayStation to compete with the likes of Microsoft. So Microsoft is all about infrastructure, and the way you see those results is within the updates of the console. Look, I had an Xbox One console, and I was sitting there laughing and joking like, yeah, I got a 1 terabyte hard drive. Then I got to find out that 1 terabytes on Xbox One consoles are a complete joke. So I usually keep that 1 terabyte for the operating systems and the update, but the external is for the games. But anyway, when it comes to when it comes to Xbox, they let their it's all about infrastructure for them. I mean, when it comes to Microsoft, it's all about infrastructure work, and the way you see those results of those of the infrastructure work is with the updates within the console or your desktop computer. So Sony needs to learn that too, that it's all about infrastructure when it comes to PlayStation Plus, and keeping the PlayStation up to date and having every base, every angle covered. Meaning that your PlayStation 3 is supposed to have external hard drive support. You need to take care of that ASAP. Your PS4 needs external hard drive support. So let's say I buy a USB adapter, and then I put four 12 terabyte hard drive on the PS4 on those USB adapter and connect it to the PS4. That means the PlayStation 4 needs to see all 4 of those drives all at one time. So when I'm buying my games, I have space to collect all the to install the games and collect the expansions and updates. So that's number 2. PlayStation, I mean Sony has to work on their infrastructure to compete with the likes of Microsoft, and then they need to have a show called This Week on PlayStation, so they can keep their fan base up to date on what's going on with PlayStation. Every week they need a show, This Week on PlayStation, so their entire PlayStation fans worldwide can see what's going on. But and if they see a studio that's that's in trouble or look like they're about to be on the verge, like they're about to go on the way out, try to purchase that studio and make that studio part of the PlayStation family. So to compete with the likes of Game Pass, Sony has to stay consistent. Keep working on the infrastructure. Now PlayStation admitting that Game Pass is far ahead, that's true, but it's also self-pity. Sony want to play it's like they're playing a victim here, playing the victim card, and I hope the courts can see this. But Sony is not chopped liver here. They got plenty of money to spend. It's just that Microsoft beat them to the punch when it came to Activision Blizzard. I guess Sony never thought that when Activision was going through their turmoil that you could have purchased them right away. They didn't see it. They didn't have that depth or wisdom, when it comes to the gaming industry. But Microsoft showed them, like, when you see a company like this going through problems, and if you got the money to purchase them, you swoop right in and purchase them. So Sony, I'm sure they're learning from this. But them admitting now that Game Pass is ahead of PlayStation Plus, it's all self-pity. They want the courts to feel sorry for them. But the courts can't feel sorry because worldwide PlayStation has a big user base, 70-30, and then in Japan it's 96-4. Oh yeah, PlayStation got a big user base. Sony have to keep working on their infrastructure and try to get day one releases like Xbox on PlayStation Plus, and then go on from there. But other than that, man, this court case is leaving no stones unturned. A lot of things are being exposed in the game industry. So yeah, Sony got some infrastructure work that they need to do with their PlayStation consoles. They got to keep the ball moving, man. And they got to get back to what they do best, make games. And they need to bring back Killzone, SOCOM, and Resistance, because those are their main shooters. So, and then get back to what they do best, man. But To keep up with Game Pass, it's all about infrastructure work. Infrastructure work. Infrastructure. Every day, all day, man. You know, so yeah. That's what they're going to have to do, man. But them admitting that Game Pass, them admitting Game Pass is leading them. Remember, it's all self-pity. Remember, Jim Ryan said he wants to block the deal. So this is all part of the block the deal strategy that they're trying to come up with. So Microsoft must be aware of that. So and then go on from there. But other than that, man, it's about infrastructure work. When it comes down to it, when it comes to Game Pass and PlayStation Plus, it's all about infrastructure work. Infrastructure work, and then they'll have the success that they're looking for. So, but Sony admitting that Game Pass is far ahead, it is all part of that statement that Jim Ryan made earlier. They want to block the Activision Blizzard deal. That's what it comes down to. Other than that, I'm going to leave this video with this article. Hope y'all enjoy it. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still a Star Wars and Star Trek thing for Dark Side. Peace.